Hey guys, welcome back to So. What we got here is Fansproject's LER-07 Pinchar. So one of the things that's a little bit annoying, a bit of an eyesore, is this backpack here. Either sticks out over his head, or you can kind of, I guess, work it around, and I'm not too crazy familiar with this piece yet. I just got it yesterday and kind of been doing some other stuff. But you could also kind of have it around his back, but it sticks out really far. So some people online have come up with a mod that takes a lot of this piece out and lets you slide this through the back. And apparently it doesn't affect anything besides, you know, giving it the benefit of bringing this down and having this kibble in the back way more compact. So, stand him up here. That's what we're about to take a couple of minutes and do. The tools that I have here are a Dremel. I actually just got this in today. It's my first time ever using one, so you'll know how easy it is, because if I can do it, you can do it. The only practice I've had dremeling anything, because I don't just really have toys to cut up or junk, or a letter that I had. So, but I feel pretty confident with this thing. It seems pretty straightforward, as well as a screwdriver and just some different attachments for the Dremel itself. Now, screwdrivers, you guys know where to get them. Dremels, you can buy them at Walmart. I got this one on Amazon. So we'll see how well it works, and I'll let you know if I recommend it after this is done. Let's get started. So the first thing I have to do to get that bracket out is remove these screws on the side here. Hopefully these are the right ones. If not, that's up. Just one screw. See it on the other side. I'm trying to look around at the camera as well, the LCD, to make sure you guys can see what's going on. But there's two screws. See if this guy just slides out. This guy out of the way as well. Alright, so it looks like it's in there a little bit. I believe we might have to loosen these two screws as well. So we'll get on that. So it actually turned out to be this screw right here that holds this top. That piece that's nagging everybody in the first place. And from there, you can loosen these and pull this part right out. In terms of the screws themselves, it's really easy to see which one's which. This is that top screw, and these two are the two bottom. This one's noticeably longer than the other two. Alright, now for the fun stuff, I actually took a little cut. I'm setting my Dremel to low, and I'm just starting through the middle to get this piece separated. Change it over to high. Alright. Now trying to be a little bit more careful. I'm going to set it back to low to at least get it started. And I'm going right along this border here. And I'm trying to keep as much with the outline of the figure as possible. Where it gets a little bit thicker, I'm just changing it to high. Alright, so you can see what I'm doing there. I'm actually impressed how well this thing cuts through this stuff, so that's pretty cool. And afterwards, I'm going to use the sanding tool, make it a little bit more pretty. There we go. Alright, and make sure not to touch, you know, anything that's not what you're working on. It's pretty precise. Alright, so there's one basic cut. Now we'll go ahead and do the other. This time a little bit faster since I'm more comfortable with it. And again, this is my first time ever even using a Dremel, so I know that people more versed with this thing would just fly through it. Alright. Take me a little bit off the back there. Alright, so there's that. And we have the basic cuts for the pieces. So, alright, so what I'm doing now, and this is kind of more your choice because it's more aesthetic than anything else, but I'm just taking the sanding tool on the Dremel, keep it at low, and just smoothing it over. And I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch this whole time. But that's all I'm doing. Just sanding, evening it out a little bit. More so than anything, just to give myself peace of mind that when I put this thing back together, that piece is going to be able to slide through the halves. There are no jaggies or anything like that that are going to prevent this and make me have to take it apart and basically do this anyway. Alright, so I already went ahead and reassembled everything. At least these two parts. Just so you guys know, the friction on these, I was afraid that they'd be loose and just dropping down. It's dependent on how tight the screw is. So once you screw them back in, they are just as tight, swinging up and down, these tail pieces, as they were before. So, yeah, even more so if the screws were loose before you messed with it. So even if you don't do them on, check those if you have a loose swing or anything like that. Now, you guys see that there's this spacing right there. And what you have the option to do, and see this is a little bit loose, so all I'm going to do, take my screwdriver and tighten it. Now, it's not dropping anymore. So, there you go, case in point. But anyway, with that space now, what you can do is, there's a little bit of flexibility here, of course don't break it, but you can bring this piece down. That big backpack, it's no longer over his head or anything like that. Bring these pieces down as normal, and however you displayed them before, whether it was having it more traditional to where, and he's just got a lot of ratchets and locks and things like that that move around, so by all means, this is actually a solid piece, but I'm still kind of learning the figure itself too, so sorry if there's still me posing around and stuff like that. I'm actually doing this before I've really played with the toy. I definitely haven't reviewed it yet or anything like that. So now you've got that in the back. You see, it doesn't stick out past the tail pieces or anything like that. So no more, you know, big old spikes in the back, nothing over his head. But, you know, you have free range with the tail pieces. So you want to do them like that. And again, my apologies for maybe not playing with this a little bit more, but you do it like that. But basically this piece, there's a hinge here, right? So it's a double hinge, and you can take that and put it up to his head. And it's cool because it kind of props his head too, even though it friction holds in place, but that makes sure, you know, the head can't swing back down or anything like that because it tucks in for the transformation. So it actually has some added benefit. And if you are an ab crunch enthusiast like myself, it keeps his abs currently crunched down because you've got that piece pushing it there, even though it stays pretty well on its own. But yeah, just so you guys can get a look at it from the front too. Again, from the back, not nearly as obtrusive. In fact, I like it quite a bit better. I actually saw this mod. The first person I saw do it, or at least post it, was Oscar Fung. He's a big classics enthusiast. Posts on a lot of the Hong Kong websites, forums, Weibo, things like that. So yeah, thank you, Oscar Fung, for, even if you didn't discover this, making it public, at least for me. And it's cool. I'm going to go ahead and do this on my exclusive version, the Diaclone version, as well. So when you see it in the review, I'll go over it before the review starts. But yeah, here's a tutorial for what I did to make it look like it does, as well as some of the pictures. I made sure to take some of the pictures for the gallery before doing this, and I'm looking forward to taking ones after as well, because it looks a lot better. But very cool. Very cool. There you go.